Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting day in mathematics. Whoop, whoop. Warm-up 56 is on the screen. That shouldn't take you long by now. You should be experts at those four. I'll give you some time for that. And when I call your name, bring me your home plate, numbers 1 through 7. I want to see it over here. Thank you. All right, let's go over the warm-up really quick. For the sake of time, I'm going to go over this one just to make sure we finish it expeditiously. Oh, like that word, right? Expeditiously. It says compound inequality. What do you guys notice? They don't intersect, so what kind of compound is this? Or. Therefore, I start with my dividing point right here, which is -1. All of this is x. What are all these numbers compared to -1? They are less than, and this is a solid, so it's equal. Or, dividing point over here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. X is over here. What are all these numbers that are x compared to 5? Or what is 5 compared to all those numbers? Less than. And that's my inequality. And if you write your solution set, just solution set of x such that, and close it. Number 2, cross multiply. That times that, x squared minus 4 equals -7 times x plus 2. So this is x squared minus 4 equals, distribute that, -7x minus 14. Then get everything to one side. So add 7x, add 14. Add 7x, add 14. So we're left with x squared plus 7x plus 10 equals 0. And from there, Power Rangers, 10, 7, factors of 10 that add up to 7, 5 and 2, or 2 and 5, x plus 5, x plus 2, and all that equal to 0. Set each one equal to 0 and solve. X plus 2 equal to 0, so x equals -5, x equals -2, and those are my what? Solutions, roots, zeros, and x-intercepts. Number 3, I need an equation for this. So I start with, bless you, y equals mx plus b. Where does it cross the y-axis? It crosses at +2. And I need a slope, so I need to pick another point. I'll pick this one right here. So to get from here to there, it's 1 step up and 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right. 1 step up, 4 to the right. So my new function, f of x, equals 1/4 x plus 2. And last but not least, inverse. We change this to y. And then we solve for x. Line down the equal sign, -12 minus 12. We got y minus 12 equals 6x. Divide by 6. So I'm left with y minus 12 over 6 equals x. Is that the inverse? No. The next step is to exchange the variables. So then we get x minus 12 over 6 equals y. This is the inverse, but we write it in function notation. X minus 12 over 6 equals f of x. And to indicate that it's the inverse, we put a little -1 above it like so. So far so good, yes? Yes, Mr. Q. All right. So, cake. By now we're dreaming these, yes? All right. So, copy the agenda, warm-up number 56, transformation of functions. And tonight's home play study guide, again, numbers 8 through 14. Now, just FYI, BTW, I did give you the study guide before we went to Thanksgiving break. Is that correct? Yes, Martin? What? I gave you guys a code before you went to break with a study guide. So you've had the study guide now these 2 more days, so you've had it for 12 days now. So I was assuming you were going to have numbers 1 through 7 at least. So tonight, 8 through 14. And once again, you are going to need a printed out study guide. They're over here in the back, so make your way over to get one. We're going to be working out of the study guide. You don't need your Cornell notes for today. All right, give you guys some time to set up. Hurry up, please. And once again, if you want it electronically, like I did before, here's another code again, L8AJH. That's today's presentation with the study guide. It's in there. So make sure you go to that. L8AJH. L8AJH. And just a reminder, the final exam is next week, and how much % of your entire grade? 20%. That's why I was thinking that maybe you've already got a head start with a study guide. Wow! All right. Just FYI. Good story, yeah? I can master semester 1 concepts and skills. All right. So let me skip this portion. Let's go to this one. Number 1, get that in front of you. Write the domain and range of the function as an inequality using set notation and using interval notation. Then it says describe the end behavior. We'll talk about that right now. However, if you have your highlighters, let's see, let me zoom in. So, think about when we covered domain and range. I said if I put 2 of the Galaga ships down here to shoot a beam upward, between what values is our domain for this function? Tell your neighbor, between what values? What do you see? What would you say, let's see, who haven't we picked in a while? Jacob, between what values? So here are the ships, they're shooting the beam upward, so between what? 3 and -3, okay, so let's see, -3 and 3. Hands if you agree so far? Okay, that would be correct, hold on. That would be correct. However, what do these arrows indicate? Tell your neighbor, what do the arrows indicate? That they don't stop at -3, they continue going to what? Infinity. So if this one's going to go to negative infinity, and this one's going to continue to positive infinity. So therefore, my domain, and let me write the inequality first. Domain from negative infinity less than x less than positive infinity. Yes? Because it covers all these values right there. Okay. Set notation. Solution set of x such that negative infinity less than x less than positive infinity. Interval notation. Tell your neighbor the interval notation. They should know by now. What is the interval notation? Looks like Danny's got it. Okay, go Danny. Parentheses. Negative infinity. Positive infinity. Parentheses. Hands, have you got that? That is correct. And why parentheses? Because we can never catch up to infinity. All right. So that was the domain. Let's go to range. For the range, now we have the 2 Galaga ships shooting over here from the side, and they're going to shoot a beam that goes sideways, that way. Tell your neighbor, between what values is our range? Let me erase that. Then we'll have Danny pass someone. Between what values is our range if we shoot a beam that way? All right. Danny, pass someone. Martin. Negative infinity. Let's see. And what? And 3. Hands if you agree with that. Yeah, these arrows continue going that way for the y. That is correct. And it stops at the top at 3. Therefore, my range, let me write my range over here. My range is from negative infinity all the way to 3. So, what do we write in between? We're no longer on y, it's what? F of x. So, negative infinity less than f of x, less than what else? Or equal to. That is correct, because there is a solid point right there. Solution set of f of x such that negative infinity less than f of x less than or equal to 3. All right, and tell your neighbor the interval notation for that. Interval notation. Martin, pass him one. Brandon, Felix, go. Oh, it's positive, yeah, it's positive 3. Hands, if you got that? That is correct. All right, so from 1 to 5, how comfortable are you with that so far? Yes? All right. So the only thing that's being added here, guys, is end behavior. What does that mean, Mr. Q? Well, end behavior, they're talking about the direction of the function. For you guys, since I didn't get to that portion, don't worry about that. We'll talk about that once we get to that portion when we come back. All right, so let's move on to number 2. Let's go to that one. And it reads, a fireworks projectile is launched at 20 meters per second from a 60-meter cliff. The table shows a height, y, in meters. The projectile is above the field after x seconds. So, first things first, you are given a table. Can you plot these points? Yes, let's do that really quick on your paper. 0, 60, 0, 60. 1, 75. 1, put a little 1 there. 75, which is, let's see, this is 70. 75 is in between 70 and 80, so about right there. 280, 280. And you're doing that on the study guide, right? 375, 375. 460, 460. 535, 5, let's see, 10, 20, 30, 40, 35 is about right there. All right. So look at part A. Look up really quick. I want you to circle part A and do that. Plot the points and make a curve. Did we plot the points? Yes. Have we made the curve? No. Let's make the curve. Here we go. All right, part A, done. Let's go to part B. What is the maximum height of the projectile? Tell your neighbor, maximum height. Everyone, maximum height? 80 meters. 80 meters, that is correct, which is right there. Max. All right. Let's go to, we're done with B. Okay, let's go to C. Over what interval, pay attention to that word, what word are they using? Interval, which means interval notation. Is the projectile's height increasing? So, tell your neighbor, between what numbers is it increasing? Between what numbers? All right. Between what numbers is it increasing, Miroslava? Oh, you're giving me the actual, okay, bracket. 0, 2. Let's see if it's true, and this is for t time. Let's see if it's true. From 0 to 2, is it increasing? Yes. However, Miroslava gave us time. Can we also give the interval for height? Yes, Mr. Q. Tell your neighbor the interval for height. Height. What would be the interval? Interval for height. All right. Anthony D, go. Say that again. Yeah, it's increasing. Miroslava gave us in time that interval increasing, but we now need an interval for the height when it's increasing. From where to where? So bracket 60, comma 80, bracket. Hands if you got that. All right. So we're done with part C. D, it reads, over what interval is the projectile's height decreasing? Decreasing. So give me both in time and height intervals when it's decreasing. Tell your neighbor, and then Anthony's going to pass someone. All right, pass someone, Anthony. Who? Couldn't hear you. Oh, Clarissa. Bracket 80. And what? 35 bracket. All right, so let's see. 80 and 35, is it decreasing? Yes, but that's for the height. So now, what is that one in time. Pass someone, Clarissa. Noah. 2,5 bracket. Hands, if you got that? That is correct. In time, it decreases from here to here, 2 to 5. All right, from 1 to 5, I'll come to where you with this one, number 2. Good. Let's go to number 3. It says, describe how to transform the graph f of x equals x squared. So the first thing, look up to the screen, that I want you to do when you get to this one is what? Graph f of x equals x squared. Tell your neighbor how to graph f of x equals x squared. How do we graph that? Looks like Ryland's got it. All right, Ryland, go. How do we graph that? -2, -1. Thank you. X, f of x. So, -2 squared is 4, -1 squared is 1, 0, 1, 4. Let's graph that. -2, 4. -1, 1. 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 4. Some of you are like, hey, that's like the home play, Mr. Q. Good thing I've been doing all my home play. Oh, yes. All right. However, now that we have that, they give us the new function, g of x equals 2f of x plus 2 squared minus 3. Let me write that over here so I can get the graph in here. The new function is g of x equals 2 times f of x. What else? Plus what? 2? Was it 2? Squared plus 3? Minus 3? Okay. So, before anything, look up to the screen. These two we know for sure. So tell your neighbor where we're going to move this function according to these two parameters so far. Where are we going to move it? Where are we moving that to? You guys all right? You guys tired of weightlifting or something? No? Okay. All right, where are we moving that to? Let's see. How about Laura? Where are we moving that to? 2 to the left and 3 down. Hands if you agree with that. Okay, we can do that at the end. But here's what I need to focus on. Look up. What does this 2 do to these 5 points? What does that do? It's a whole number. You guys remember? Looks like Anthony's got it. What do you think, Anthony E? What does the 2 do to these points? Or to the original graph? What does it do? Starts with the letter S. Stretches it. Yes, that is correct. So check this out. Look up. Look at this first point. At -2, it was 4. But now since it's going to stretch by a factor of 2, the -2 to 4 becomes -2. What is 2 times 4? That is 8. So we got 5, 6, 7, 8. So the new point is going to be up here. This one, -1, 1. Instead of being at 1, if we multiply times 2, it's going to be at 2 now. 0, 0 stays the same. 1 goes to 2. And 2, instead of staying at 4, it goes all the way up to 8. All right, so here it is. Does it look like it's stretched? Yes. Well, all right, so now that we stretched it, here are my need points. This one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Now we can move it, how many? 2 to the left and 3 down. So let me start with this one. 2 to the left, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. This one, 2 to the left, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. This one, 2 to the left, 1, 2, 3. This one, 2 to the left, 1, 2, 3. 2 to the left, 1, 2, 3. So my new and improved function is there. So by looking at it, how many graphs am I going to see on your coordinate plane? 3 of them. The original f of x, one that it's stretched, this one, stretched, and the last one, which is our g of x. That's our final one after we move it. All right? So, some of you are like, well, I got the movement, Mr. Q, the going left or right, up and down, so I just need to remember the what? The stretch, yes? All right. All right, from 1 to 5, how comfortable are you with that one so far? All right, good. Good participation. Let's go to the next one. Number 4, given the graph of f of x equals x cubed, graph the new translation of 3 steps to the left and 2 steps up. So, let me zoom in. So they give us the graph already. Do you see that they give us points? All right, so they give us these 3 points, and they want us to move it what? 3 to the left and 2 up. All right, so let's do that together. 3 to the left and 2 up. So I'm going to go 3 to the left, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. This one, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. This one, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And then we just make our function. However, this is what? G of x. So, you write your form, g of x equals f of x minus h plus k. So, we move this original 3 to the left. Was it 3 to the left? 1, 2, 3, and 2 up. Tell your neighbor, where do we substitute those values, and what would be your last function? What would be our last function? Substitute those values, write your last function. Bless you. All right, share with your neighbor, and then Maya's going to enlighten us. Where do we substitute those numbers, and what would be our last function, All right. Maya G. What numbers go where? What's that? I'm sorry? H is 3. K is 2. Okay, but didn't we go to the left, guys? So if we go to the left, it should be what? -3, yes? So left is always negative. So therefore, g of x equals f of, what is -3 times a negative that's already in there? Plus 3. What kind of function is this? A cubic, and then at the end, plus 2. All right. How we doing? From 1 to 5? How comfortable are you with this? Yeah? Okay. All right, let's move on. Number 5. Let me zoom in. It reads, find the inverse function of that one. So I'll give you a head start. But tell your neighbor what's the first thing we do right away to get started. All right. What do we do first, Brianna? Yes, y equals 3/4 x minus 1. Okay. All right, continue from there. Danny, what do I do next? Add 1, add 1. We're left with y plus 1 equals 3/4 x. We still need to finish solving for x. What do I do next, Jacob? All right, we need to leave x by itself. What is it? Yeah, times 4/3, or the reciprocal. Times 4/3. So this becomes a giant 1, and we're left with x equals, let me distribute this, and that is 4/3 y plus 4/3. All right. So is that the inverse? No, what would be next, Anthony D? What makes it the inverse? What is it? Switch the variables. That is correct. So we end up with 4/3 x plus 4/3 equals to y. And can we leave it in y form? No, we need a function notation. So this is 4/3 x plus 4/3 equals f of x. And and with a little inverse there. And this is my inverse. Okay. And what did we start with? We started with this one. F of x equals 3/4 x minus 1. Now I'm putting them like one on top of the other so you guys can see that this is the original one, this is the new one. So watch. I'm going to use blue for the new one, and I'm going to use black for the original one, because they want us to graph that. So go over here to the graph. Look at the first function. Tell your neighbor where to start to graph this one. Where do we start? How do we graph this? We should be experts by now. Then Brandon's going to enlighten us. Where do we start? All right, Brandon, Darty, where do we start? Yes, at -1. -1 is right there. And then, what is our slope, Brandon? Up 3 and 4 to the right. That is correct. Up 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me do it again. Bless you. Up 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let me zoom out. And I'm going to sketch my black line going through those points. There it is. All right, so let me zoom in. So now that we graphed the first one, we graphed this one. Where do I start for the second one? Where do I start for the second one? Tell your neighbor. And then Brandon's going to pass it to someone. Brandon, go. Let's go. I get to pick. How about Rylan? Where do we go? This one was a -1. Where do I start for this one? Four over 3. Yes, that one. And if I was to simplify this, how many times does 3 fit into 4? 1.3. So 1 and 1/3. So 1 and 1/3 is about right there. And what is my slope, everyone? 4 up and 3 to the right. So from here we go 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3. And I won't be able to fit another one, so let's graph our line in blue. There it is. Now, how can we tell that they are inverses? Let me show you. When one of them is going in that direction, the other one that direction, if we take this dotted one, it makes like a mirror image. You guys see the mirror image? Yes? All right. That was number 5. Let's go to number 6. It says, absolute value expressions in the following equation to determine if they can be solved. If so, find and graph the solution. If not, no solution. Isolate the absolute value expression. So, let's see if we remember. I'm going to write this down over here again. -8, absolute value, -x minus 6 plus 10 equals 2. Step 1, we need to isolate the absolute value. That means we need to leave the absolute value by itself. So the first thing you do is circle the absolute value. Get rid of everything that's outside of that. So what's outside? The -8 that's multiplying and the +10. So I'm going to start with a +10. So what do? minus 10 minus 10. We're left with negative 8 times the absolute value of negative x minus 6 equals, what is negative 10 plus 2? That's negative 8. Next, is the absolute value by itself already? No, there's something outside, which is the negative 8. So if the negative 8 is multiplying, how do we get rid of it? Divide by negative 8. Divide by negative 8. That leaves us with the absolute value of negative x minus 6 equals 1. All right. And from here, the rest is history. Who remembers what to do from here, now that the absolute value is by itself? Oh, Mr. Q, we do two equations. Oh, yeah. One for the negative and one for the positive. Negative 1 over here, positive 1 over here. Write whatever's inside of the absolute value. Negative x minus 6 equal to that. Negative x minus 6 equal to that. And we solve. Here we go. Plus 6 plus 6. Negative x equals 5. Divide by negative 1 because of this negative. And we're left with x equals negative 5. This one. Hold on. Plus 6 plus 6. Negative x equals 7. And that was loud. Divide by negative 1. X equals negative 7. What's that? So my solutions, they said to graph it, negative 5 is right here, and negative 7 is right here. Solution, negative 7, negative 5. All right, so your home plate, finish up to, what number was it? 14? Have a good one, guys. Enjoy your home plate. See you guys tomorrow. Bye. Tutoring after school, I'll be here. Bye.